If you are curious like me about how people in other countries save money, today's video is for you because I'm sharing 20 ways that people in Japan save money. If you are new around here, welcome. I'm Elena. I make money at home videos. If that kind of content interests you, please hit that subscribe button. I found this article on interactnetwork.com and the link will be in the description. This article is kind of from the perspective of what you should do if you are a visitor or you did not grow up in Japan. How do you make sure that you save money in Japan? Number one is have a budget ready before you arrive. This article is already speaking my language. If you don't know how much things are going to cost or what your budget might look like or what you're hoping to spend, how would you know if you're saving money? Or how would you know what's expensive if you haven't compared prices? So this is awesome. Number two is use Kakeibo. This is something that's unique to Japan. It was so interesting to learn about it. So it translates as household financial ledger, and it's a whole budgeting methodology. And if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. Should I do a whole video about how to use this budgeting method? So this budgeting method is about asking yourself 4 particular questions each month about your budget and categorizing your expenses into 4 main categories. I haven't done a lot of research about this, but there was also this mindfulness aspect to it, which was very interesting to me. And that kind of brings in the psychological element of budgeting, that it's not all a numbers game. It's a lot about what's going on in your mind, and how your budgeting success is a lot about mindset. And that's something I talk a lot about on my channel. So I'm super curious to learn more about this. Number 3 is budget for your travel. So if you've taken the trip all the way to Japan, you probably don't want to stay in just one place. You want to check out several locations, and that will not be free. So figuring out how much that will cost in advance and making sure you have those funds set aside for checking out adjacent cities. Number 4 is make the most of Japan's cheap food. And they suggest looking for small restaurants, vending machines. Apparently there's like vending machine restaurants. That sounds really interesting. And lots of street food stalls. And that can be a very economic way to experience the culture and the food of Japan. But they also do bring up that the best way to save money is cooking everything from scratch yourself, because buying the raw ingredients is still less expensive than buying things that are prepped. And I was kind of wondering if that was true in Japan, because I think in some places it might actually be cost effective to buy prepared food. Number 5 is avoid foreign imports. This is super interesting to me because here in America, it is often cheaper to buy things that are imports, and it can be more expensive because of labor costs to buy things that were made in the USA. So if you're looking for a deal, you're often looking for something that wasn't made here. But I guess that's not true in Japan. And they're saying that this is because Japan is an island. But this really makes me wonder, because it's not like we are connected to China or the Philippines here in the United States. So food has to travel over a lot of water to get here, and it can still be less expensive than manufacturing it here. So apparently this is really true of certain kinds of meat and dairy that are not traditionally farmed and produced in Japan. There can be a huge markup on those items because of transport costs. Number 6 is travel in the off-peak season. I am all about this one. We are planning a trip to Disneyland, and we are planning it totally in the off season. Things are a lot less expensive, and you don't have to fight any crowds. And often hotels and Airbnbs have lower rates, which makes it way more affordable to travel during that time. Airfare is a big ticket item that can often be less expensive during the off-peak season. So I guess the off-peak season for Japan is October through March, except for, of course, Christmas. Number 7 is make use of capsule hotels. I think this is such a cool idea, and I wish there were more capsule hotels in the United States. But I don't think this would really work for me in particular because I have kids and a husband, and my my allergies make it really hard to eat out, so we often need a kitchen too. So normally I need a house or a unit with some sort of kitchenette unit so that we can do a lot of cooking ourselves. So I'm not sure this would be a thing for me, but if you're traveling alone or with a couple friends who are also single and you could do the capsule hotel, that would be super cool. I don't know about the claustrophobia factor, that could be a thing, but if that doesn't affect you, this could be a great way to save money while traveling in Japan. Number 8 is find free attractions and events. I think this is actually one of the better ways to experience culture, is to go to the park and notice what people are doing, or see what kind of free events you can go to, or the farmer's market. It can be an actually more authentic way to experience culture than the things that have that big ticket price. Japan apparently has plentiful festivals, and you can get into those for free, and then you can enjoy those, and then I'll leave you some extra money for that street food. Number 9 is avoid buying fresh fruits and vegetables. They say, although extremely healthy for you, buying fruit and veg in Japan can be incredibly unhealthy for your wallet. So apparently the price of fruit and vegetables in Japan is sky high. And I think maybe you could eat less fruits and vegetables for a while, but over time that is not going to be good for your health. So maybe you just need to budget more for fruits and veggies, or pick the cheaper ones. At least where we live, cabbage is like the world's cheapest vegetable, and you cook it in the oven with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and it tastes delicious. It never seems like there's enough of it. So what cheap vegetable could you buy where you could still eat vegetables but not spend all the money? We ourselves don't really eat that much fruit, and that's partly because of the cost, but we definitely don't slack on the vegetables because that's not a shortcut that I want to take, even if it does end up being expensive. Number 10 is do your grocery shopping in the evenings. I think this is a good tip regardless of where you live, because often those fresh deli items or those fresh bakery items, they start getting discounted, and they're suggesting after 8 p.m. That's when my kids go to bed, so I'm not sure that's a good time for us to go shopping. But if you can, and you can snag those deals right away, right after they're marked down, then you could save some money on your food. Number 11 is consider house sharing. And this is just the grown-up version of having roommates. So in a way, we are house sharing because we have an Airbnb suite in part of our house, and that pays most, if not all, of our mortgage each month. So we are house sharing, but we are house sharing with whoever comes to our Airbnb. Number 12 is find a 3-mat apartment. I was not familiar with this term, so this must be something that is local to Japan, but this is what you might call a micro apartment. These are super small apartments where you have your bed up on a loft, and then below that you have your living area. So if you want your own space, you don't want to be house sharing, this might be a good solution if you are single and you don't need a lot of space and you spend a lot of time working. So these units might end up being about 100 square feet. So this might be the same size as a mid-size camper trailer that you might see in America. Number 13 is connect for less. So if you can find a phone plan that will get you what you need for less, consider switching. Number 14 is find your nearest 100-yen shop. So this is kind of like the dollar store here in America, where you can buy lots of things very inexpensively, and each item is priced the same. Number 15 is get on your bike. Especially if you're in the city, it might be reasonable to bike wherever you're going, and that could save you on those transportation costs. And it sounds like in Japan, things are more set up for bikes. Sometimes when you're in America, like, it's actually really sketchy to bike somewhere or in a city because there's no bike lane. There's so many cars, the speed limits are so fast that it's not actually really a good idea to bike, so you might want to use a car anyway. But in Japan, it sounds like things are set up more bike friendly. Number 16 is make use of coin laundromats. So if you are visiting Japan and you're staying at a hotel, they might have a way for you to do your laundry, but that's gonna be really expensive. And if you send it out for dry cleaning, that's gonna be $1 million. So if you find a local place, a local laundromat, you can save a lot of money by taking your laundry there and doing it yourself. Number 17 is kickstart your new year with a lucky bag. I have never heard of one of these before, but it sounds brilliant. So right at the beginning of the new year, stores will collect things that are a little old. They're ready for their new merchandise. Their last season, they put them in a bag, and then you can buy them at a really discounted price, and then you can get some really cool things, kind of surprise things in your bag for not that expensive, and the store gets to get rid of that last season's merchandise. They should do that here in America. That would be awesome, even though I guess it's the same as a clearance section, but like the mystery bag element of it seems so much cooler. Number 18, make use of point cards. So this is a little bit different than it is in America. So in America, like JCPenney's has their own credit card, and then, you know, you buy 20 items and then they give you one free or something. But apparently in Japan, there's a few major cards, and then lots of different stores participate in these programs. So you can rack up your points at a variety of stores and not just one store, and then get perks or benefits or free items from that. Number 19 is be smart with your travel insurance. So you might consider a group travel insurance policy if you're traveling with a group. I didn't know that was a thing. Instead of an individual travel insurance plan, which would be more expensive per person. And they're also saying to make sure that you read the fine print, that you disclaim all your medical conditions and what your travel plans are, so that you don't accidentally void your travel insurance. I didn't know that was a thing. So if you were planning to fly a small plane and you didn't disclose that beforehand, and then you got in an accident, that might not be covered in your policy. So that would be something to look into and make sure that you disclose what you need to disclose. Number 20 is make use of local flea markets. So this kind of sounds like what we do for farmers markets, and apparently there's lots of good deals there and things are reasonably priced. I feel like in America, or at least where we live, the farmers market is commercialized, and so things are actually more expensive at the farmers market because it's an attraction, it's an event, and the prices are marked up. The vegetables are more expensive than they are at the grocery store for the same vegetables from the same farm. So apparently flea markets in Japan are actually a good idea and a good way to save money. So you have to look into that. This was such an interesting video to film. I was especially interested in that budgeting method. I've never heard of it before, and I definitely want to look into it more. Which one of these money-saving hacks for Japan was most interesting to you? Leave that in the comments. Please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.